Hey, everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday, and that means we're going to talk about 90 Day Fiance. We've got the season 10, episode 20, which is the Tell All Part 2. It was a 2-hour episode, and thank you, baby Jesus, that we don't have a Tell All Part 3, because you know the single life is having a 5-part Tell All. 5 hours. This is only 4.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. The single life is a 5-part Tell All. Can you believe that? It's going to be 5 weeks in a row, 1-hour shows.
No, that's way too much.
It's way too much. But the season was, I don't know. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the single life. We're here to talk about 90 Day original recipe. And I thought this tell-all was pretty good. I think we got some answers about these weird relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping that this is the end of Justigor. I hope we never see him again.
Yeah.
He's a horrible person, Kimberly.
He is, but I went on Reddit and a lot of people hate Nikki. And I felt Twilight Zone again.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they're
okay.
not over her lying to him 15, 20 years ago about being trans, which I understand. But I don't think if you're in that position, what life was like 15 or 20 years ago for trans people, especially trans women, and how dangerous it would be.
Yeah.
I don't think you can, it's hard to judge. And also, I don't think that 2 wrongs make a right. So that wrong, sure, she should have told him, absolutely. But it doesn't negate him dating her for years, knowing she was trans, taking her money, getting her to file the K-1 visa, and then breaking up with her by text after saying he's not attracted to her.
And then having her come over for his birthday and then breaking up with her again.
Getting engaged with her again for the 3rd time. And so I think they're both pretty toxic, and they're both grifters from what we've heard about her history too.
Yeah, it seems
they're both
possible.
grifters. They're both toxic. Their relationship is toxic. They shouldn't be together. It's good they broke up before it wound up on Dateline.
Yeah, I mean, she deserves someone that totally accepts her, and he deserves someone who I don't know what he deserves, but he deserves
a Moldovan woman.
If he wants a submissive Moldovan woman, then I'm sure there's plenty out there for him because he's a nice looking guy, and if that's what he wants, then that's what he should find. He shouldn't just be with somebody who he's just going to belittle all the time and say, I don't accept you. And I mean,
little slight jabs. And the way he talks in double speak in like circles is so gaslighting. He's trying to like trick everyone on the stage with his little quips and talking in circles. It drives me crazy.
He thinks he's hilarious.
Punch him in the face.
Yeah. He thinks he's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. So funny. So witty. So let's start where we start on this episode, which is where we left off with that's where we start.
I have never seen a panic attack be as loud as it is in this season with Ashley and Jasmine. The panic attacks that I have are quiet, that you don't have air in your lungs to be screaming. Yet these women they could scuba dive without a tank. They have so much lung capacity.
Yeah, I mean, she's just like crying, but I don't know. It's not a panic attack. It's not an anxiety attack. It's just I'm furious and I'm letting it all out, you know? And Gino goes, listen, I have to tell you, like 95% of the time I was there at the strip club, I was sitting with my family. Like you only saw 5%. Again, it's weird that you're hanging out with your family at a strip club. It's also weird.
Yeah. Well, it's because I don't know what men do. Like girls go to strip clubs together.
I guess with your sisters?
Yeah, for a bachelorette party, maybe. Is it better than Jovi hanging out by himself at a strip club? No. Yes, it is. To me, it's better.
Yeah, I guess that's right. All right. I don't know why I'm being so judgy.
I don't like it was only not like 5% of the time. That's like saying I murdered someone, but 95% of the rest of my life, I didn't murder someone. So let's focus on that.
I mean, that's an extreme example.
Right.
But yeah,
I see what you're saying. The time frame is not the issue here. It's the action. It's not the amount of time that you were doing it.
So Sophie says, aren't you upset that she's so upset? Doesn't that upset you? Okay. And then he says, but she doesn't have to be so upset. A lot of use of the word upset. And he says, she doesn't
I'm
have to be,
upset.
I'm upset that he's not as upset as she is upset. And
Just say, I'm sorry you're upset.
I don't,
It's not that hard.
He's taking the wrong approach here. Gino is.
She's a bomb that you can diffuse so easily and she will forgive you. You just have to apologize and say, I'm sorry that you're so upset. I'm sorry
You're right.
what I did. And he just instead digs his heels in.
You're right. She is a bomb that you could diffuse very easily.
Yeah, because her emotions swing like a pendulum and very easy to go from one to the other.
He spends a lot of time waiting it out, I think, you know?
Yeah.
And she's saying to Nikki, you don't understand. He'd never look at me like that, Nikki. He'd never make love to me. He doesn't love me. He's not attracted to me. Nikki. And Nikki is just stroking her hair. And she was like, I fucking hate him.
I felt like Nikki's thought bubble was, I may have hitched my wagon to the wrong star here. It's like if you join a new school and you become friends with someone at lunch, and then after school, you find out that everyone in that school hates that person because they, I don't know, vomit in other people's backpacks on purpose.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
But like they're not a good person. And but they befriended you on the first day. And now you're like, oh crap.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sean's like, well, we're going to give Jasmine the space she needs right now. In the meantime, let's talk to Daisy. Oh, Daisy's still there. Daisy is still there.
She has to do a shift. Isn't her song coming on that she has to get out there?
She's got to sort those bikinis.
Yeah.
So, Daisy, how would you characterize Gino's behavior at the bachelor party? Okay, how is it that Daisy is remembering this particular event so clearly when this has been probably a couple of months ago? She's got people in there all the time. How is she remembering these losers?
Fan. She's a 90-day fan, and there was a camera crew.
Could be. Could be.
But and also, why are we needing her, like, to negate what we saw in the video? Like,
I don't know.
It doesn't matter what she says. We saw what we saw.
We don't need Daisy's input.
No,
we really don't.
I mean, good for her. She's getting on TV. Great.
So how would you characterize his behavior at the bachelor party? And she goes, well, he seemed like he had a good time, but he was kind of awkward and reluctant. And Rob says, but was he on good behavior? And she goes, yeah, he was super respectful. Okay. And then backstage,
like attack you on the stage.
Right. I guess he just, so backstage,
she deals with horrible people.
Well, that's true compared to what she did.
People. Gino just giggles the whole time. So
that's right. Oh gosh. Oh goodness.
Look at those things.
Wow. Okay, here we go. So backstage, Jasmine is crying. Did you see? She was topless and he was hugging her. He'd never hug me that way. He never fucking hugged me that way. Never. I mean, she is squealing and yelling like a howler monkey. Like, what is going on here? This is crazy.
Insane. And I keep flashing back to her bachelor party because no one seems to keep bringing that up. And I really wish they had roll the tape, Sean. Show that man grinding on Jasmine.
How dare you? That was her divorce party. She was respectful at her bachelorette party.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, Gino was in another hotel room in the same hotel.
In the same hotel.
Yeah.
And then when you can hear her backstage going, wah! Rob goes, now come on now.
She's doing too much.
This is too much. And Nikki says, why doesn't he get up and come console his wife so I don't have to stand here for a minute? And Sean says, wow. Okay. So do you think Daisy has redeemed Gino? And Rob goes, yeah, it should. Like, can you hear that? Like, that's crazy. And then Gino goes, yeah, like, I think she's upset because, my ex-girlfriend, my most recent ex, not his ex-wife, worked at a strip club. And Sean goes, wow, okay, well, I don't think we knew that information. And Jasmine
then we don't follow through, right?
And that's it.
One follow-up question about that.
Mm-mm.
That was our chance to learn more about the ex-wife. Sean blew it.
Did you meet her when she was stripping and she was grinding on you and then she became your girlfriend? Like, No,
Is this the one that sent the photos of Jasmine? Yes, that would be triggering.
you're right. Right. And Jasmine says she cannot forgive him. She's traumatized and she's dramatically shaking and everything. And
Was that
everyone's,
real? Did you think the shaking was real?
when she was trying to like drink the
Yeah,
water.
yes, I think
Um,
it was Jurassic Park with the T-Rex, like, the water's just
did
shaking.
I think it was real? My first thought was it was not real. That was my first thought.
That was my first thought, but then I felt badly because maybe it was real. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she could have worked herself into such a frenzy that she was shaking with all her screaming. She could be like dehydrated from all the screaming and whatnot.
She needs some electrolytes.
Yeah. So everyone says they understand how that could play into it with the ex being at the stripper, all that and stuff. And Ashley says, and Gino, you're not sleeping with her. And I understand how she speaks to you and stuff, but you two have got to figure that stuff out. And Gino's like, yeah, it's the way she talks to me. Like, it's not once, it's a cycle. It's like over and over and over. And Rob goes, yeah, we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it. I'm feeling pretty good about my relationship right about now.
This is the
So
same issue with Clayton. Like, if they were having a better sex life,
mm,
the stripper thing probably wouldn't be as big of a deal.
probably so.
Well, maybe it would still be a big deal. Jasmine's insane.
She's out
Unhinged.
there, unhinged. And Nikki encourages Jasmine, like, pull it together. Let's go back. Go back out, girl. Stand in your power. So somebody says to Gino, are you attracted to Jasmine? And he goes, yeah, of course. Like, she's a beautiful woman, but it's just all the things that she says to me. And Ashley says, yeah, it turns you off. Jasmine comes out and goes, I apologize, Sean. I shouldn't have left like that. I had anxiety attack, but Nikki has helped me, and I don't want people to see me like this. What? That's all we've ever seen
Yeah.
is you like this.
I love when she apologized to Sean, though. I
Yeah.
respect you so much, Sean. You
Yeah.
know how much I respect you.
Please don't kick me off this show, Sean. Sean's like, what show are we on? Somebody hand me my note cards. So Sean says to Jasmine, do you have any questions for Daisy? Why is Daisy still there? Why?
Yeah, please let this woman go make some money.
I
Get
mean,
a shift.
Jasmine says, yes, I do. You know, Daisy, it's hard for me and triggering as a woman to see my husband at a club where you were topless and you were hugging and he was smelling you. And Gina goes, I didn't smell her. And maybe it's awkward for you, but he never looked at me. He never complimented me as his wife the way he did to you. And that's what hurts me. What compliments was he giving Daisy?
Yeah,
He
he did.
wasn't, he
No,
wasn't like, oh God, you're so beautiful or anything like
no.
that.
And again, what we see, he compliments her all the time, but
Right.
maybe he only does that when the cameras are on. I don't know.
Could be. Could be. So Daisy says, I understand. And Gino's like, but I wasn't hugging her. She was hugging me. And Gino keeps trying to talk. He's just digging and digging and digging. And then Jasmine says, out of the blue to Daisy, did that lip gloss belong to you?
Oh my God.
And Daisy goes, I don't know what I don't know what you're talking about. Um, And then Daisy says, again, with no basis, she doesn't know these people. Daisy says, I really think Jasmine should know that Gino loves her a lot. And he was really just interested in having fun with his family at the bachelor party.
How does she know that he loves her a lot?
She doesn't know
He
them.
wasn't there at the club. I don't
So
understand.
weird.
What? So she watches the show, or she's just watched the tell all. I don't know. They had her backstage watching, and she was like, "Oh yeah, he totally loves her." What?
Or like he was like, I really want you to know that I love my fiance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, baby.
Also,
Yeah.
Jasmine needs to take a step back and look at this from a wider perspective, which is this exotic dancer who's beautiful. You think she had the experience with Gino that was so great that she wanted to seek him out and see him outside of the club?
Well, I think if that's what happened with his ex-girlfriend, then maybe Jasmine thinks that's possible.
Well, we just still don't know the situation. Did they meet at the club and then and
Was it
also, does he have that much money that he
Remember
is
she found out
taking?
also he used to pay for women. He was on
That's
like a
true.
sugar baby site. So the
That's
woman from
true.
the strip club could have also been somebody he was paying to go out with him,
That's a great point. Yeah.
you know? Um, okay. So then Jasmine goes, well, I don't believe you, Daisy, my new best friend, about the loving me part. And
'Cause she
and
does love women. She's there for all the women on the stage,
she
including Daisy.
is. including Daisy. And she says, but don't take him being awkward as not liking you. Actually, when Gino likes you and is being flirtatious is when he's the most awkward, you loser.
Why are we
So
having this discussion?
Sean says goodbye to Daisy. We're not going to solve this. Goodbye, Daisy. Um, Gino and Jasmine, you've been through a lot, and I hope you get some clarity today and your marriage continues to improve. Let's take a break. Jasmine, are you okay, honey? And she goes, yes, I'm so sorry, Sean. And then she takes off her earrings. I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen? She's going to
She gonna
beat
fight
somebody's
somebody?
ass. Yeah, she's going to punch somebody.
And Sean hugged her.
Yeah, Sean hugged her.
And, on Pillow Talk, Liz and Andre were like, "Hey, Sean's never hugged us." Pretty funny.
You're not quite that crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and then as she walks out, she says to Gino, you know this is it, right? You've crossed the line, Gino. You can never see when you go too far. And he goes, I don't think so. He's doubling down.
He
He's
should
not.
I mean, I get it because 5 seconds later, they're holding hands.
All right.
So, maybe you do just have to wait it out.
But it's such emotional abuse while you're waiting it out.
Just say you're sorry. It takes 5 seconds.
And actually, he should be sorry because those were pretty bad videos.
It was extreme hugging. I don't know why we keep calling it hugging, but that's what she keeps calling it. So,
Yeah, right.
naked hugging.
So Gino in his talking head goes, everybody has a bachelor party at strip clubs. Geez, oh, Pete. There wasn't much that I did. I don't know why she's so upset. I was like, is geez, oh, Pete like a Midwestern phrase?
I've
heard.
said Jeezy Pete, or I've heard Jeezy Pete, but not Jeezo Pete.
I've never heard Jeezy Pete, Yeezy Pete,
Yeezy.
oh Pete. I've heard oh for Pete's sake, and I've heard oh geez, but just a geez, oh Pete. Yeah.
He's a sexy man. How do you have sex with this man who says things like this?
And just wants it so bad.
Yeah.
She wants it so bad.
He's like that neighbor on The Simpsons, that like Ned Flanders.
Yeah. Does everybody want Ned Flanders?
No, that's how he talks.
That's the point. Okay.
Yeah.
In her talking head, she goes, he should just validate my feelings. And I think that's what we're trying to say. If you could just say, hey, you know what? Your feelings are valid. That was probably upsetting to see. I was just having fun, but maybe I took it too far. I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah.
And just move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we see Rob, and he's sitting with Devin and Nick, Anali and Clayton, and Sam and Citra. They're eating. I feel like they're always eating. It's like, how many meals have they had? How many days are they there? They've had so many meals.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sitting down to
That's
chat.
why I'm always looking like, what is it? Like,
is it a salad? Is it?
Yeah, it looked like Panda Express. Maybe it was. Then you'd feel so bloated and like
so much sodium.
Yeah,
and gassy. If they were gassy, don't worry. Sam and Citra would have told us about their gassiness if they were gassy. And they sit down, and Devin says to Rob, has Sophie ever yelled at you like that? And he laughs. He goes, oh, yeah, no comment. And Sam goes, it is kind of hard to think about what Gino goes through, like all that fighting all the time. And Devin says, yeah, that jealousy has got to be exhausting. And Sophie says, because he brings up his ex, because she brings up her ex, meaning Dane. If she brings up her ex all the time, it would make me think something's there. And Gino's sitting there and he goes, yeah, it's that. And it's all those other hurtful things that she says. And Sophie says, if Rob ever said, my ex fucks better than you. And Rob goes, oh my God, you cut my throat in my sleep. She goes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam goes, y'all never getting laid again. I just been waiting for it. And I'm so horny. That's my thing. I'm horny. Everybody remember that. I'm horny. Ashley says she understands how Jasmine reacts because she says, I'm an overreactor too. And I think because she feels like she's not being heard, she just gets louder.
Mm.
And Nikki says, yeah, I'm like that too.
I don't think that excuses it or the things that she says.
But I mean, we've seen it with Ashley. If she feels like she's,
yeah.
She just gets loud. I mean, and Nikki too. Same thing.
Yeah, but Ashley doesn't say horrible things to Manuel.
No.
She doesn't go below the belt, very personal attacks.
Right. And Nikki does as well.
Yeah.
But she's being attacked as well. So Nikki actually has reason to. So Ashley says she's looking for a level of love from you that you can't get behind because of the way she treats you. So it's just sort of like something you're going to have to work through, which, Ashley, maybe it is worth $4,000 a month. I don't know. She seems to have a lot of knowledge. And then Ashley says, they just need to bang it out. Like they need to have sex or the relationship won't survive. You have to release that energy somehow. And Manuel's like, yeah, yeah,
That's Ashley's $4,000 advice to every couple.
yeah.
Is there a bathroom in here? Go on in there. $4,000. Thanks. You can pay me on the way out.
Now Jasmine comes in where everybody's sitting and she goes, I didn't want to show everyone this because I'm so embarrassed, but I'm being labeled as crazy. So I think it's important for everyone here to be aware of my situation in my home. So she has like this little sparkly handbag. Like, why? Why do you have a sparkly handbag? She has a little handbag and her hands are shaking again. Is it, I don't know, theatrics? I don't know. And it's a piece of paper. And she takes it out and she reads it. And it says, Jasmine, Gino and I had so much fun at the bachelor's party. Sorry for the lip gloss. You can keep it, but it won't look as good as you as it does on me. Here are my panties that he took off of me that night, and the rest you keep to your imagination. So she's like, and it's true. It's true. She passes the letter around. And he goes, that's not true. There's no girl. A weird fan left that on my front porch. And then she goes, I haven't touched it. Nobody touches it, but she drops it and these like black panties come out. And everybody goes, oh, like it was a live snake.
I know.
This was
the
most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Did you hear what Nikki said?
What?
Is that yeast?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
She
said, that's disgusting. And she says, she goes, I don't know what to do or how to react. It's just like so much for me. And Sam and Citra are looking and they're both kind of laughing. Like, can you believe this shit? Can you believe this shit?
Are we on a soap opera, right? Is this a telenovela?
And Rob goes, that's just kind of some kind of like fucked up person that left that at your house. It's a typed letter. And Nikki goes, let's put it back. Let's put it back. And she's like pushing it with her foot. And Jasmine's like, don't touch it. You're going to get a fungus. Set it on fire. Oh my God. So Gino is just sitting there like, this is what I'm dealing with. Gino goes, no, none of this is true. I can't believe she even believed this or showed this to you guys. I don't know if it was a fan or an ex or what, but it's just somebody left this. It's just somebody who had watched the show and knows where they live and left it on their doorstep.
Third option, Jasmine.
She did it to herself?
Yes.
She like Gone Girl'd herself?
Yes, it is. There was a famous case with the bombing threats, and it was all coming. The call is coming from inside the house, and I think
we just watched. I just watched it. What was that one? It was a Dateline case, and then we just watched the documentary about it, about the girl that was catfishing her ex-boyfriend, and then that was to make him get back, but she had like killed the girl and was texting from that phone. We just watched it.
Yeah.
Stalker, killer, lover, killer,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that was. Yeah, that's similar, right?
Yeah. I was thinking of a different one. It's probably happened many times. I think this is much like the lip gloss that she may have planted. She planted this letter for drama for the show, but unfortunately it doesn't land. And it lasts for 2 seconds and then no one talks about it again. No one brings it up on the stage. No one tells Sean about it to ask questions. Or maybe they did and they cut it out. But that
Sean's like, don't bring me with this foolishness. I've got 1 hour on the clock and I got to go.
I know. But wouldn't the PAs go or the producers be like, you'll never guess what happened at backstage. You have to ask about it. But no one asks about it. I can't believe they even included it. It's like such a it's so insane that it becomes nothing.
Everybody is looking at it. Nobody even gets, only Nikki gets up and like touches it with her toe.
Yeah.
Nobody even, Rob is like, this is so stupid. It's a typed letter. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So Nikki says to Jasmine, you just have to be stronger. You have to believe that he loves you. And then Nikki hugs her and Anali hugs her. And in her talking head, she goes, I want to trust Gino, but he has a history of not taking accountability for things that hurt me. And I don't want to be seen as a crazy person. Okay, but that's true. He doesn't take accountability and say sorry. That's true. But you are a crazy person.
If you don't want to be seen that way, if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, you need to alter your behavior when the cameras are on.
And then he says,
you need massive therapy.
He's like,
medication.
I've been around Jasmine enough. I know she just needs time to cool off. And he's right, because then she's fine.
Yeah, they're holding hands in the next segment.
So everything's fine. Let's turn our attention to Nikki and Justin. Sean says, so last time we saw you, Nikki, he broke up with you via text. Are you still broken up? What's going on? And she goes, he can answer that. And he says, yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. Yes, I guess. But I think we need more time. And Sean goes,
How do
huh.
it's been years. It's been 20 years.
I mean, and Sean says, Nikki was blinded by the text breakup, but we never heard his side until today. So then we see this like gazing at the duck pond.
Okay, so I had already seen this because it aired last week in More to Love. It was the bonus
Oh,
clip, and I found it. I wrote it down, and I was gonna explain it to you, recap it for
if
you.
they didn't show, okay.
I didn't
Yeah.
think they were gonna sell it to sell. Instead, I just forgot to talk about it last week.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a montage of him looking sadly out at the water, but then being like, "I'm free now."
Yeah, but now I'm free.
Yeah.
Um, and he says, by the way, what did you think about that picture of this dolphins on his bathroom wall? Did you catch that?
No, what are they doing?
So it's just in his bathroom. He's in there like looking at his hair or whatever. And behind him is like a picture of two dolphins like jumping through the water, but it looks like when you just like paste things on the side of like a movie theater, like it's just haphazardly slapped on there, like crooked on the wall. Like, what was this?
Are they supposed to be the dolphins? Are he and Nikki the dolphins and
Maybe,
symbolic?
maybe. Um, so we see him saying, this is a hard time in my life. I will miss the Nikki because I love her. But at this moment, I think this is best decision. I've tried to explain in Russian because I can explain myself better. When Nicole went back to US, we had some kind of misunderstanding. She didn't have any patience. She just attacked me. This fight was really big. I can't wake up every morning thinking, how can I fix this relationship? This distance and time give me a chance to rebuild myself, and I felt a wave of energy the next day, as if I became free. Huh? What?
He's Free Willy.
What? I mean, he's free.
He's the dolphin.
The problem is she will jump on an airplane and go to Moldova and confront you. That's how
You
she
are
met him in the first place.
you aren't free until you move, and she doesn't know your forwarding address.
I think that's right because that's how she met him in the first place. She followed another guy. Remember, it was a Russian guy that broke up with her. She followed him to Moldova and met Justin, like in the
Yes, you're
hallway of the
right.
apartment building. Right. So she'll find you. She doesn't care about another country. She'll find you.
I see why he's free. These relationships are so toxic. I would be sick to my stomach all the time.
Yeah.
I would feel the biggest weight off my shoulders the second I broke up with this person.
I was thinking about that too. Like nothing you say is safe. Like you can't just talk about you went to the grocery store today or anything mundane or tell
Mhm.
them it's something you did at work because everything is going to start a fight and
Yeah,
you don't know what's going to cause it.
yeah, and so many of these couples are like that.
It's just like always tense, always waiting for like, what am I going to
How
say
can you
wrong?
relax?
It's
Like,
hard.
you can never just oh god, I feel sick to my stomach right now.
Well, if you're Ashley Manuel, you just bang it out 12 times a day.
Yeah.
Um, so Nikki says, you were never in love with me from the very beginning. And Ashley said, he said free. And Sean says, do you
Ashley is parroting everything Jesse. She's like the translator, even though he's speaking in English. She does it multiple
she's doing
times.
great. She's doing
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
She's doing a great job.
Mary
And Sean
Payne said she's doing great.
Sean says, "Do you feel trapped?" And he says, "No, that's the wrong word, but we break up 10 times a day and I wanted to stop." And she goes, victim. He's playing the victim. And Sean says, "But why did you break up via text instead of calling?" And he goes, "You know, it's that easy. How you can see when we speak, she talks over me and I don't know English well and I can't explain." And she goes, "You speak English fine." And he says, "Nikki, learn to listen. This is why we broke up." And she says, see, just stop talking to me like that. And he says, "Tomorrow I will stop. Today I will speak." And Ashley says,
Today, he said today he will speak, everybody.
and that's what she said. She goes, "Okay, Igor." Yeah, they're really trying to get him with that Igor
Yeah. Like by calling him by his actual name.
by calling him by his name that he goes by.
Yeah.
And Justin says to Ashley, "For you, I feel Nikki vibes, like twins." And Nikki says, "He's trying to insult you and say you have manly vibes." And Ashley goes, "Okay, first of all, And Justin goes, try to speak with more respect, please. And Ashley goes, I
No.
was going to wait to go there with you, but why would you ever say that your woman, the woman you love, who is a trans woman, has man vibes? That is the biggest insult you can ever give to her. Why would you do that? And Jasmine goes, yes. And he talks about respect. And Justigor goes, no, no, no. I see the bad vibes here. Ashley, we need your candles for that. Hold your candles like this. Hold your candles for that. Hold in the moment. And he's talking over her and she goes, I am asking you a very direct question. He's trying to be so funny with the candle thing. Nobody's laughing.
It's not landing.
It's not landing.
Move on. Move on, Justin.
He tries it again and he says, she says, I'm asking you a very direct question. Why would you disrespect your woman and say she has man vibes? And he says, I understand a bit of the culture. And if I feel the man vibes, I say it. Like, I don't understand. Where's the problem? And Ashley's like, boy, bye. Boy, bye. I just love that Manuel is hearing it in his ear, like probably like on a 2-second delay. Because he'll go, oh, oh. He's looking. I like how Manuel's really getting into it.
He's
really,
is.
yeah. This is the most personality we've seen. I like it.
As he's stroking her dress.
He's
he
just
loves
feeling those sequins.
Yeah.
Can't believe those sequins.
Yeah.
So Nikki says, well, I flew to Moldova for his birthday a couple of months ago and we made up and everything was fine. We had an amazing time. It was great. We made love and he put the ring back on my finger. Sean goes, hold on a minute now. I'm confused. Are you technically engaged again? And she says, And then Sean says, why would you go back? Why?
Yeah.
And she says, I love him. And he says, again, because he's hilarious, which part of me do you love, the upper part or the down part? And Jasmine goes, it's always a joke with him. Everything is a joke. And Nikki says, the lower part isn't all that. And Clayton says, you don't give her the down part, so it's obviously not that one.
Oh, Clayton.
Clayton coming in. Like he's got his confidence back after Jasmine told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
he got his confidence back.
Died a little inside.
Mm-hmm.
We went up inside his body when she did that, but now it's coming back out.
It's coming back. So Sean says, okay, let's go back to the text breakup, okay? Okay. And he says, it's a lot of things, but it's a lot of things every day. But the last thing that she asked was, do I talk to my ex-girlfriends? And I said, no. This podcast is sponsored by Greenlight. When you're a parent, you'll have your fair share of big talks with your kids. Don't I know it? But one of those big talks should involve money, and Greenlight can help with that. Greenlight is a debit card and a money app made for families. You can send your kids instant money transfers, get real-time notifications of their spending, manage their chores, and automate the allowance all through the app. You can set up a recurring or one-time chores customized to your family's needs and then connect them with the allowance to reward kids for a job well done. When my kids had Greenlight card, and Ingrid's kids had it too, I set up their chores. So if they did things like take out their garbage or empty the dishwasher, they got, $1, $3, whatever it was. And then at the end of the week, when it hit their account, they could actually see the growth and the earning. And then they could put half of it into a little savings account if they wanted. It was all great. And your kids are building financial literacy and independence by learning to earn, save, and spend wisely. The Greenlight app also comes with an in-app financial literacy game called Level Up. And kids love a game that helps the kids build money confidence through videos, bite-sized challenges, mini games, and more. More than 6 million parents and kids use Greenlight to learn how to make responsible financial choices. My kids have been 2 of them. So stop putting off the money talk and start putting your kids on the right path. Sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/pinkshade. That's greenlight.com/pinkshade to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/pinkshade. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. You guys, this weekend I was at a Bunky's house, and guess what they had in their fridge? Tons of Factor meals. That's right. I was blown away. I was like, you know how much I love Factor. These are chef-crafted, dietitian-approved, ready to go in 2 minutes. They have 35 different options to choose from every week. They have Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, which I really recommend, and Keto. They have these 60 add-ons. I got some of these little like green juice shots that'll kind of really get those veggies in when maybe you're not so good about eating veggies like I am. They have the 2-minute meals, which are great if you're on the go trying to get a quick lunch. There's no prep, there's no mess. They're ready to heat and eat, so you don't have to cook or clean up or anything. You just eat it and go. It's flexible. You can take it to work. I love it. It's the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, premium options with no cooking required. So sign up and save with Factor. We've done the math for you, okay? And you know math is not my thing. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. Like I said, I love the protein plus meals. So you're going to head to factormeals.com/pinkshade50 and use code pinkshade50 to get 50% off. That's code pinkshade50 at factormeals.com/pinkshade50 to get 50% off. And Nikki goes, an ex-girlfriend of his reached out to me on social media congratulating me on our engagement and told me that she meets up with Justin in the park. And he's just trying to manipulate and control the situation. And Justin like smiles and laughs. He goes, the city is small and sometimes I see people in the park. He's just smirking.
I do think it is a miscommunication here, and I think meet up means
like they passed each other.
Because on Pillow Talk, Andre, who's from Moldova, said, yeah, you meet people in the park all the time. And Elizabeth agreed, like they're both using the phrase in a different way.
Like meaning I was on my way somewhere and I saw somebody in the park as I was walking to the grocery store. Like, hi, how are you?
Yeah. And Nikki thinks they're planning a meetup. Yeah.
But remember, he did tell her that one park was just for sex. Remember that when he was like, people have sex over there.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
It's true. So
she also saw him training in the park. He spends a lot of time in the park.
Right.
And then he went to walk by the park to look out at the water.
That's right. He was looking over the duck pond to be like, over there was where I had sex with my ex-girlfriend in those bushes.
Also, he cheated on you when you were like engaged and doing a K-1 visa. So why are we nitpicking over saying hi to someone at the park?
I mean,
bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, when he's like, sure, I have friends that I have sex with, doesn't everybody?
Yeah.
So Sean says, are you cheating? And he says, no, listen, I'm never cheating. Look at this. Look how strong my arm is. Look how strong. And everybody, including me, was like, what? Why is he showing us his muscle? And Rob laughs and goes, he's indicating that he jacks off a lot. His forearm is strong. And then Rob continues to explain. They're all like, we get it.
We get it.
We get it. I get it. So Ashley says, were you with any women when the K-1 visa started? Right? Because he said that after they got engaged, he's never been with another woman. That's what he said. So were you with any women when the K-1 visa started, which I guess is different than the engagement? I don't know. And he goes, I don't know. When was the day? What was the day that it started, Nikki? And Ashley says, I'm asking you. And he says, oh, hold the candle. Hold the candle. We don't have enough candles for that. And that's when you see Manuel listening, going, oh, candle. What? And he says, from my childhood, I respect all women. And Manuel goes, nothing he says makes sense.
Yeah, good. Yes, correct.
And Sophie says, are you in love with her? Are you in love with her? And he says, no, she acts like my enemy. And Clayton says, I don't think he's attracted to trans women at this time. And Sean says, okay, let me ask you this. Thank you, Clayton. Sean, let me ask you this. Are you fully okay with Nikki being trans? And he says, yes, of course. And Sophie says, then what is it? And Nikki says, I have treated him like my king, and he never treated me like a queen. And Ashley says the smartest thing she says the whole time is, you're just going to have to let it go, boo.
Done.
Let it go. It's over.
And I would extend that advice to most of the couples in this franchise.
Not all, but most. And Igor says, this is me. Sometimes I wrote Justin, sometimes I wrote Igor, and sometimes I wrote Justigor.
I heard you say Sean a few minutes ago.
You know what?
You meant Sean Robinson. Now that I was like, who's Sean?
I'm so sorry.
No, I think you meant Sean Robinson, and I was just confused.
There's literally 400 people on the stage, and I was trying to take these notes. So Justin says to Ashley, no, you can't judge us. You can't judge us. If she learned to behave more like a lady, things will be good between us. And Ashley says, are you in or are you out? He's like, huh? And he says, no, I don't think we're in a relationship at the moment, but the door is open. And then he says, and before any of you have opinions, ask me, how many trans relationships have you been in? And I do love her. Sean goes, well, we're not going to
You want a
solve this. So
medal or something?
we're going to circle back later. Let's go over this timeline. So 19 years ago or 20 years ago or something, they met.
When he was maybe not even of age.
He was
Let's not
19 and she was
forget.
30.
And I have not forgotten that. That is gross and predatory, even though, yeah, it was still gross and predatory back then.
Yeah.
Maybe in the 50s, people didn't think it was gross and predatory, but like, I think in the early 2000s, people thought it was gross and predatory.
So she was 30, he was 19. They meet. They're together for
I thought he was like 17.
I think that we did the math on it. It was 19 and 30.
Okay.
So she was 19, he was 19, she was 30. They get together. They're together for 2 years. She brings him over to the US on a K-1 visa. While he's in the US on a K-1 visa, they have a big argument and she reveals she's transgender, that she used to be a male. He did not know that. They've been together for 2 years.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good. It's not good on Nikki's end for never telling him. He deserves to know that information.
Yes.
But let's also remember for 2 years he was with her fully as a woman, had no idea of any of this. It became a problem when he found out.
Right.
Because then he didn't feel the same about her and he
Right.
left. Okay. Now, 9 or 10 years later or whatnot, they get back together. He's fully aware of the information now.
Yes.
Chooses to go back together with her to do another K-1 visa and
Yes.
he says at some point, I do just want to come to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he thought I can do it, but he can't do it. It's something in him. It doesn't want that.
Mm-hmm.
And he should never have gotten re-involved with her. It's not fair.
Exactly. Thank
The
you.
whole
Very Payne.
It's toxic top to bottom.
What she did also messed up,
Yes.
especially the age thing really bothers me. But
I know, I can tell.
especially because I thought he was 15 or 16 or 17.
No, he was at least 18 or 19, but I think 19.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is so messed up, but I think if I had to, I don't know. I'm not going to say whose is worse. I know what people online think.
Okay.
They think what she did to him is equivalent to SA. And I guess that is what it's considered now. I don't know what it was considered 20 years ago.
Well, I don't know enough about this, but it seems to me that she is anatomically a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. She has had all the operations. She is a transgender woman.
Mm-hmm.
He did not know anything.
Yeah.
In his mind, I'm a man, she's a woman.
Yeah.
So something clicked in his mind when he found out because the body is the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
As he was with before. So
yeah, it's a hang up that he has.
right. And he's welcome to have it. But
Yeah.
but he shouldn't have gotten back together with her.
No, they're both totally in the wrong. I think I just get blinded by my allyship.
Yes.
Where I feel so strongly that I want to protect the trans people in my life that I extend it towards her.
I agree. And he's so awful. He's such a dick.
He's such a dick.
Yeah.
But she has been toxic as well.
Yes, agreed.
And a grifter and very shady. And they're both just, yeah.
Yeah. But it seems like he, this whole time, is like, I'm going to be able to do this. And I'm going to use her to get to the States. And then I'll serve my 2 years and then leave. I'll still be a young guy, you know? Now we move on because we're not going to solve this. So we'll circle back later.
Let's stop
the conversation. Let's stop the conversation right there. This is what Sean is saying. And I'm wondering if they do this because Nikki's mom is coming and I think she wasn't there yet. Because when they circle back to Nikki later, they're like, we were waiting and she's here.
Yeah, let's re-trigger everyone by bringing up Nikki and Justin again and bring the mom out.
Yeah, I mean, thank God they didn't like dig too deep back into Jasmine and Gino, like the screaming, like because they're like, oh my God, they're like, we forgot Devin and Nick even existed. We have to talk to them.
They cut their segment completely out of Pillow Talk. No.
Oh, really?
No, Devin and Nick.
No piggy talk.
No piggy talk. But then the people, they film it like with the people watching the whole thing, you know? So like at the end, you know, Andre makes a piggy joke as they're leaving, but they didn't discuss their segment at all. So if you were just watching the Pillow Talk, you would be like, oh, they were there?
Right. Right. So now let's move on to Sam and Citra. So they say accidents happened. They weren't trying to get pregnant. They wanted to be married for at least a year, but oops. And he says, it really hit him that he's going to be a dad, never how important it is when you heard the
Oops.
heartbeat. And she's been really sick, etc. It's, that's her personality has changed, right? So she's pregnant. And she's like, he put a demon inside of me.
She loves those movies. She
She
loves
does.
Rosemary's
She
Baby.
does.
Yeah.
She does. And Sean says, like, what's the deal with the diversion? Are you going to jail? And he says, here's the thing. I was actually just lazy on filling out the paperwork. And that I felt so mad at myself about it. But now I'm officially in the program and I don't have to go to jail as long as I don't mess up. I have to go to counseling, probably do daily drug tests, and really not mess up for a year. And Rob's like, you got it, bro. You're going to knock this out. Yeah. And trying to encourage him and stuff. Ashley, this was very interesting. Ashley says, has your new Muslim faith, which he knew nothing about, has your faith helped you stay sober? And he said, yes, actually, the faith is really helping me. And I didn't realize it was something I was missing in my life, which I
Well,
think is
good.
great.
Yeah, good for him. I
It's
mean, I
great.
still think he should be in a program, and a lot of programs
It sounds
are
like he is. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
faith-based programs.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I think that's really
I
good that he
really
has
hate
that.
that they got pregnant when they didn't know if he was going to jail or not. That's so irresponsible, guys.
Maybe they thought that would help their case. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys, a baby saves every marriage. Just try it. Having a baby is so easy and fun. Um, Now we find out of the blue that he had a one night stand a long time ago because the long distance was hard. He has one weakness, it's women. Now, this appeared to be to me pre interview stuff when they were doing their interviews for the show to get on the show because
And
it was all this like old footage.
I bet they used it during the season and talked about it, but they cut it out. But they somehow thought it was interesting enough to put it on the tell-all.
Because these were not like their talking heads that we see at all. There's none of these were
No,
their
they're
interview looks. It was all
yeah.
pre-tape stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. But he
Oh, yeah, so
explains,
maybe they didn't film anything about they just completely left it out during the season, but somehow
yeah,
decided to bring it up during the tell-all because they have no other drama.
they have no drama. I mean, it's just like, why did we bring Daisy? Like as filler,
Yeah, yeah.
filler. So he says it was just a quick fling and it meant nothing, but the physical urge just, got to him. And they weren't totally committed at that time and had not met in person when this happened. So
They
that makes,
were totally committed. They were
he
ex
says they weren't and she
okay.
says they were. He
I
says
don't
they were
understand
not.
how you are exclusive with someone that you've never met in person.
I agree. So that's kind of why I'm like,
I
well,
kinda wanna give him a little bit of a pass, but
me too. Isn't that terrible? It is though.
it is, it's cheating, it's 100% cheating, but also, who
I,
is this Uber girl that, like, would thought he was so hot in the rearview mirror that she
she was
went
like,
out and
let me,
banged him the next night?
yeah, I'm gonna give you my number. He says the girl was pretty and it was a weak moment. I was like, don't say that. Don't say she was pretty.
Ugh,
Ugh. Was her name
she
Daisy?
reminded me of Citra, and so I couldn't help myself.
That's bad too.
Oh, I don't
Um,
know then.
Sean says, asked Citra, like, do you have any jealousy from it or any like lingering feelings about it? And she basically says, like, no, all the time has passed and we share a location, etc. I was like, well, 2 seconds ago, he said you shared location, but he lied to you about what he was doing.
Right.
So not really sure why you think that's a fail safe.
Also, it's like a shot collar, like, it does. If people are only being loyal and faithful to their spouse
Right.
because someone is spying on their phone,
Right.
that's an issue.
Well, like we found out on Love is Blind, you can share your location, but guess what? Somebody can still find out you're lying.
Ooh,
That's what we
I don't
found out
watch
on Love
that
is
show,
Blind.
but
Oh, you're missing it. So, okay. Citra says, well, I remember that he told me a lot about this. Like, he went with this girl and like they were almost intimate. Like, something scared him away, so he didn't fuck her.
something
That's what she says.
something she had something freaky in her room.
Yeah, something scared him. It was something freaky, and he
Did she
didn't bang
have
her.
a Stan from Love After Lockup sex dungeon in her
Could be,
room?
could be. And he's like, "No, I didn't say that. I did tell you that I was intimate." And she's like, "Yeah, but you weren't like she says you didn't fuck her. And he goes, no, I told you that. Everybody's like, girl, he banged her. She's like, what? I think like you saw something gross. And everybody goes, yeah, he slept with her, girl. That's what that means. That he slept with her. And she just looks stunned. And Sean says, wait, why do you think she doesn't remember that you told her that at first? He goes, maybe she doesn't want to remember, but I definitely told her. And Clayton goes, okay, wait a minute. These two stories aren't even close. Like you were going to, but something scared you and freaked you out and you left, or like you fully banged her. Like these are two very different stories. And Jasmine goes, these two stories are very different. And Sean,
she's Clayton's best friend now after she yelled at him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's like, me and Clayton on the same team. And Sean goes, Citra. So you thought they fooled around but didn't have sex, but you don't seem that phased about it now that they went all the way. And Citra goes, I mean, it was probably like 4 years ago. I mean, Citra goes, everything is fine. I trust him. Like, I'm very confident. He always puts me first. Like, it was a long time ago. Like, she's never met him in person, I mean, you know? And Jasmine goes, Sam, I'm very proud of you. Sam's like, okay, lady, crazy pants. I just said back there I was terrified of you. So, but also, did you notice when they were showing those pictures from the pre-interview stuff they did before they were on the show? Did you see that Sam had given a headshot where he looks like a completely different person?
Was his mouth different?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So, I took a picture on my computer. So, they go back to the green room because it's time to eat again, and Citra says, you know, when all that happened, it did take a long time for me to trust him again. And Sam's like, yeah, I felt like a piece of shit at the time. So I did tell her everything. And she's just like, we're married. I'm pregnant. I live here. We had never even met in person. Like, she really doesn't care. I mean, I'm kind of on her side. Like, who cares, you know? Unless he said, we are fully committed and I will never look at another woman, then we've got a different story. But it sounds like that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So Jasmine talks to Gino about the Daisy situation. And she says, Gino, she's completely calm. Like she wasn't back. I fucking hate him. I want a divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, Gino, you know, that situation was very painful and I was embarrassed, you know, to see that. I was very embarrassed and I wasn't prepared and nothing could have prepared me for what I saw. And he goes, well, I didn't do anything wrong. It's just a typical bachelor party. I didn't see I did anything wrong. And she goes, but I am your wife and I'm telling you that it hurt me. And he says, well, if I knew it would have hurt you like that, I wouldn't have done it.
Thank you.
That's all he had to say. And he goes, but it goes both ways. Like you shouldn't do things to hurt me either. And she's like, okay, Gino. And then talking head, she's like, I believe in our marriage and we have a lot of work to do as a couple. And yeah, that's what they need to go on whatever they call that resort Caribbean. What do they call that one?
Last resort.
Last resort. Yeah, they need to go on that. They'll be on that next. Who
or where Dr. Drew is the host, and it's like the last relationship, worst relationship therapy. What's that show called?
I don't know.
Where all the celebrity reality people go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch it. So now we go to Clayton and Anali. So they've moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Sean goes, I thought if you moved, it'd be like to get away from your mom. And he goes, well, yes and no. She moved there first and she's got her own place near us. So they followed her there? Is that what I'm hearing?
Or did she follow them there?
We did not go enough into what's happening with the mom.
Place.
Well, yeah, but we didn't go into enough why. There's obviously some major family trauma there that I think that they just don't want to. They're like, please don't ask us to explain.
Yeah.
My mom has addiction issues. She's got mental health issues. Like, please don't ask us to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah. So Sean says,
and
everybody.
Their brother died.
And their brother died. And Brandy's obviously fucking crazy. So Sean says, so everybody, what did you think about Clayton's mom living in a closet? Why, mommy? Why closet? Never forget.
Yike.
And Manuel says, listen, what I was thinking, like if you put the guinea pigs in the closet and then you let the mom out, that would be better. And he's like, yeah, but you know, guinea pigs, they do like pee and poop and they need ventilation. And they're like, doesn't your mom need ventilation? And he's like, well, she never shut the door. So she always had the door open. I'm like, couldn't you just leave the door open for the guinea pigs and put a fan, whatever. He didn't want his mom in the den because she's so messy.
Yeah, she's a hoarder.
Yeah. So Sean says, so how's your sex life? Have things improved? And he says, yeah, it's improved. And Sean says, how many times a week? I'm like, what are we doing here? Why
Why
are we
do
talking?
we
Why are we doing this?
Hmm.
And he says, well, twice this week. So then Sean says, Rob and Sophie, how about you? How many times? And they're like, yeah, a few times a week. Sam and Citra, of course, say almost every day. And Sam reminds us he's a horny dog.
Yeah, that's
Horny
his
dog.
brand.
That's his brand. And Nick and Devin, they asked the same question, how many times do you have sex? And they're like, we're embarrassed. We don't want to talk about this. And Nick is more embarrassed. He's like, I don't want to talk about this. And there's like, is it more than two? And he was like, I mean, sometimes. And I was like, I am Nick and Devin. I don't want anybody to ask me these questions.
No, and that's if you're finally addressing that they are on the stage, and that's what
Right.
you ask them.
That's what you ask. Yeah. And then Jasmine and Gino, Jasmine goes, skip us. It's like once a year. Just skip us completely. And they laugh. So Jasmine goes, yeah, like, what do I want to say? Like, I want my man to fuck me. I mean, sorry. I mean, making love to me like every day. Okay. Why do you have to say that? Sex makes me happy and I don't get it. And that's why I'm so moody. And Ashley says, sometimes you need to get fucked and sometimes you need to make love. I was like, oh no, I can't take this conversation. It's too much for me.
It's too much. Send
It's too
them all
much.
to sex therapy. They make therapists who can do this in the privacy of their offices.
You're right. You're right. All right, back to Clayton and Anali because we got off track with the sex talk. And Sean says, how hard was it for you to keep the truth from your father about, you moved to this country to get engaged and get married? And she says, it's really hard because my dad has always been very important to me. And I did it for love because if I would have told him the whole truth, we would never be able to be together. Well, what's he going to do? Like physically restrain her?
I don't know. I said she made it seem like he was a mobster.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds scary. And Manuel and Jasmine both say Latin American parents are scary, no matter how old you are, and they understand her worry. So Sean says, well, TLC asked Annalie's dad to come on the tell all. He declined, and he sent us a note that says, I hope my daughter reconsiders and comes home. She doesn't need anything there. Okay. So I guess she's not speaking to her dad.
That's sad.
It's really sad. So she was right, you know.
I think it maybe would have been different if she had told him up front instead of revealing that she had been lying to him for 2 years.
I think she would not have been allowed to come
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, she did it for love. She loves Clayton. So Annalie says she misses her dad. She was just talking to him. He's very funny. I was like, well, we didn't see it. He just didn't seem very funny when we saw him. She says it's very difficult for her. All right, please welcome Clayton's sister, Brandi. So Brandi comes to the stage. Annalie gives her like the heart symbol, which if I do it here on this, it should make a heart.
Does it?
It does because we did it. Let's see. We did see. Look.
Oh, it does. Oh my
Isn't that
gosh.
fun? If you do
I
it on the
didn't know it did
screen.
that.
Yeah. We did it when we were doing Love is Blind and we were saying what the two moms of the couple that was getting married, or didn't get married. The two moms of the groom and the bride did that to each other. And so we were doing it on the stage. We were doing it on our thing. We're like, look at that. And then we did it a million times because it makes for great audio when you talk about something you can see on video. Everybody make the heart symbol towards your screen and see if it does it. So Brandi says, I did have reservations about Annalie coming, and I continue to have reservations. I think maybe it's like a catfish situation. She hid it from her dad. It's really weird. She makes no post about him on social media. Maybe she's got a boyfriend in Peru. I don't know. And you see Annalie hearing it like a second late, and she's like looking at her like, what the fuck? And she says,
I just gave you the heart symbol.
It was so weird. Annalie says, I never wanted to move here. I wanted him to move to Peru to be with me. But because of his work, I made the sacrifice to leave my family and be with him for love. And Brandi goes, if somebody was hiding me, I would think, what else are you hiding? And literally they all go, Brandi is loco. Like everybody on the other couch is like, Brandi's crazy.
This is not a good look for Brandi.
No. And Brandi goes, I don't see any affection between them at all. And Annalie goes, I don't know what she sees or doesn't she see, but like it's embarrassing to be constantly all over somebody. That's just not my style around other people. And Brandi says, look at the way everyone here is sitting and look how you guys are sitting. And they pan the whole crowd. And sometimes people are sitting right next to each other, but other times they aren't.
Yeah, suddenly Brandi is a body language expert for the
Right.
FBI.
And he goes, okay, look how we're hugging. Look how we're hugging. We don't have to do everything in front of you to mean that it happened. So then Sean asked Brandi about the stripper. And they start to pull up the footage. And Clayton goes, here we go. First time I'm seeing this. See, I'm telling you, they haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So we see the guy coming in. Did somebody ask for a police officer? And she goes, immigration.
Mhm.
And they laugh, and that's funny. And everybody on the bus is laughing, and all the people that are watching it are laughing. It's
Even
not
Clayton was
nearly,
laughing.
huh?
Even Clayton was laughing.
Nobody there is horrified like they are with the Gino footage that went
No
on
one
forever.
exactly.
Yeah. And Clayton says, I don't know. Anali told me that she didn't want it and she was traumatized, but she looked pretty happy in that video. And Brandi goes, I mean, she inspired it. She asked for the stripper. And Anali goes, no, it was a complete joke because I never thought you would do it. Because you know how Clayton, I said it as a joke because you know how Clayton is jealous. Knowing your brother, I never thought you would do it. I was teasing. And I said it as teasing towards Clayton because he makes jokes towards me all the time.
Yeah.
Which is true. And in the end, the person whose choice it was and the person who paid for it was Brandi. And she's the one that enjoyed herself the most. And Clayton goes, yeah, part of me thinks Brandi did that just to affect our relationship.
Mm.
And Annalie goes, yeah, Brandi's a meddler. And then did you see Brandi do the stir the pot?
Yeah, with this evil look on her face.
Yes, she did a stir the pot motion.
Mhm.
And Ashley goes, you seem very bothered by your sister. And he says, she seems very bothered by me being in a happy relationship. And everybody's like, oh, sick burn. Ooh.
Because didn't she interfere in all the rest of his relationship? She always doesn't like the girl.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And Brandi says, no, I'm going to meddle in my brother's business because I'm his only sister, but I didn't do anything to try to mess up their relationship. And Sam says, maybe she's just trying to test to see if it's real. And she goes, not really. I don't know. Maybe if I was around them more. And Clayton goes, well, thank God you're not around us more. And Annalie goes, yeah, I don't want her near us.
No, I wouldn't either.
I was like, what about the heart? What about the heart?
Not anymore. She's betrayed. That heart should be like broken symbol.
And Sean
Also, I
says,
have a brother. I don't meddle in his relationship. I couldn't care less what's going on in his relationship.
yeah,
I don't want to hear
right.
about it. Do you?
And what if you thought he's being catfished, though? Would you care?
Okay, yeah, then maybe I would say something, but I would say something again before the wedding, and then you've said your piece.
Yeah.
Then you let it go. You don't go on national TV and humiliate her and make her cry.
Would you wear a bridesmaid's dress and get a male stripper?
I would if I was on board, but like
Right.
I wouldn't do all that and then say I'm not on board and I think she's catfishing him.
Yeah.
Then you're acting like you're her friend and welcoming her to the family and then going on TV and backstabbing her.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
And Sean says, well, what's your biggest fear about them? And Brandi goes, I just don't want Annalie to hurt him. Like, I've seen a lot of red flags. And Annalie goes, okay, so the red flag was I didn't tell my dad. So now I told him. What else? I mean, the whole world knows now.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you're on
she did
television.
post on social media
And she
during the
did.
season.
And Brandi says, the whole thing is just odd. And Clayton says, Brandi, we're from different cultures. So maybe everybody out here, every couple is odd. Maybe it's just going to be odd.
Yeah, look at Gino and Jasmine. They're freaks.
I mean, look
I
at
wish she
Ashley
had
and
said
Manuel.
that.
I mean,
I
yeah.
really wish she had pointed at someone else. Be like,
I wish she would
look
have
at
been like,
these weirdos.
look at these two. He calls her Piggy. So Annalie cries and says, Brandi keeps doubting our love, and I left my family and my country, and now my relationship with my father.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, and Clayton says, so at what point do you decide that you're going to start believing our relationship is real? And Brandi goes, when I feel like it.
Brandi,
And he
all of
goes,
the trust I have built for you in the season has quickly faded away.
and he says, well, that's how you've lived your life, and it hasn't gotten you very far. And Jasmine goes, wow, do you hate each other? And Brandi says, sometimes, but I'm happy for them, but that's my brother and I'm going to look out for them. And Jasmine and Rob are both like, whoa, I don't know what your perception as being happy for him is. It's not the same. And basically their relationship just isn't good enough for you, for what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Also,
Sean,
you've been married how many times, Brandi? So
yeah, I think
you were the arbiter of good relationships?
exactly. Exactly. And Sean says, who thinks there are deeper issues between these two that are not being discussed? And everybody raises their hand, including
Yes,
Brandi.
we've been saying it all season.
Yeah. Um, well, we're not going to solve this today. So I hope you can get along in the future in a positive way. And as she walks off, Annalie and Clayton do golf claps. They're like small claps, small claps,
I
small
love
claps.
Shady.
So
If she
funny.
really wants to keep an eye on her brother, don't alienate yourself from him on
I
national
know.
TV by causing a feud with the wife and making her cry.
Yeah.
Pretend that you like everything so you can hang out more with them
Get
and
the
see
scoop.
what's going on.
Yes, I agree. So then we see Brandi backstage, rather. Brandi's backstage, talking head says, Annalie's just here for a green card and the ring, but I guess he didn't get catfish because she is real. She's horrible.
Yeah. This
She's
is
horrible.
return to first episode, Brandi.
Hmm.
Maybe she was
Hmm.
drinking.
I think that he's indicated that, maybe that's why he's taking care of Closet Mom. I don't know. Something deep and dark there. Listen, maybe we need to search Reddit and find out because somebody on Reddit knows the whole story
I
about
want
them.
to, yeah, I really need to know.
Okay. Somebody point us to a thread so we don't have to find it ourselves.
Mhm.
So now we're going to move on to Devin and Nick. Hey, we forgot about them. Um, Nick says he already got his working papers. He has his green card. It took exactly 6 months. And everybody's like, what? Wow. And Sean's like, that's super fast. And Jasmine's like, we haven't even applied. And he says, oh, well, I guess you have no plans to work. And she says, don't be a jerk. You are a foreign, same as me. It's not in my power. Gino has to apply, and he hasn't yet. And Gino's like, we just got married. And Devin goes, Nick applied himself. He sent it in the day after our wedding.
Yeah.
So actually, that's not true.
I just think Jasmine doesn't have a plan to have a 9 to 5 job.
She's like, I'm not filling out this forms, Gino.
No, she wants to be an Instagram star.
And let me tell you what, her bikini pictures are really something. They're really something. So he tells us, Nick says he's working as a project manager in Atlanta. It's way better than Cersei. We knew he was dying to get out of Cersei. And it's good for him to be in a big city, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
There's lots of
right.
piggies he can point to and laugh.
There's lots and lots of piggies he can point to and laugh. And also, he could probably find a lot more of his home culture in a big
Yes.
city like Atlanta.
Yes.
So he's living in a hotel right now. It's just been a couple of weeks, but he's going to get settled and find an apartment, and then she's going to come. And they're like, oh, well, how's that been being apart? And she goes, I got to be honest, it's been a nice break. Like being around somebody 24/7 is really hard. We're both introverted and we really like our space. And I liked the honesty.
I love that. That's why I'm looking for a relationship with a long distance trucker.
Yes,
Or someone in prison.
Except sometimes those people are serial killers, so that won't
Yeah.
be good.
Mhm.
No. So anyway, everybody kind of laughs about that. And they're like, what? So here comes mom and dad, Kevin and Katrina. And mom says she's very happy for them. She's so proud, about him getting this job and the move to Atlanta. And now we talk about him calling her Piggy. And then we see him saying at that dinner table in front of the neighbors or their friends or whatever, no wonder you're Piggy. You have fast food all the time. Look at this. And he like pinches her stomach. And dad says, I mean, that is very embarrassing. Like you would say that in front of your in-laws. And Devin says, I really wish he would have kept this nickname, this Piggy thing. I wish he would have kept it private. I mean, it's worse for me because now people are judging him and it's really bad because they don't understand. And Sean says, but were you upset over it when he first started calling you that? And she goes, he's explained that it's a pet name people call each other and it just really means cute. And so they're like, do lots of people call each other Piggy where you're from? And he goes, well, not lots, but sometimes people do. And he goes, she's way skinnier now, and I still call her Piggy because she's still cute to me. It's just showing affection. All right, what are your thoughts on this?
I understand that he might be right about that. And I know like in England, you'll call somebody a daft cow or something, and you're not like, commenting on their body. But she has said it bothers her.
Right.
It should have stopped immediately.
Right. I agree with that. Right. It's like, okay, I get it why you're saying it, but I still don't want you to call me that,
And you are like someone on the stage says you're putting your right or need to call her that name over her feelings. And
Right.
no nickname is more important than her feelings.
Totally. That's a great point. I'm sure it was Ashley. We'll get to it. Um, so,
$4,000.
so mom says, Jasmine says to mom, Mom, we all know mom knows best. Do
Oh
you
my
think
God.
her,
Jasmine keeps saying this now. This is her mom era. She
yeah,
mentions it so many. I'm like, where are your children, Jasmine?
where are the children?
Oh my
Uh,
God.
so Jasmine says, Mom, we all know mom knows best. Do you think her weight loss has to do with him calling her piggy and calling her chubby? And mom says, No, like all women, you could fluctuate in your weight. And she's been this size before, pre Nick, post Nick, whatever. I mean, maybe it has something to do with it, but also she, has been doing diet and exercise. And Nick goes, Oh, it's a joke. Like, have a sense of humor or something. And everybody's like, What? Shh. Everybody just looks over at him like, oh.
He has a
Um,
touch of the Justigor where he just can't admit he's wrong and he just makes jokes the whole time.
yeah, he has a touch of it. He does. Um, and Sam goes, Oh, buddy, you're not helping yourself, man. And Nick says, Listen, Nick says he's learning. He goes, I'm learning. I am learning. And I'm trying not to say it in public. And Sean asked Devin about her weight loss. And she says, Well, my weight does fluctuate. I lost a bunch of weight when I lived in Australia, but then I gained it back when I got to the US. And I didn't really realize it because sometimes you just, this happens. And I didn't really
Mhm.
realize it till I was trying on wedding dresses and stuff. And it was kind of like in my face. And Sophie says, Yeah, but what he has called you is a name that's offensive. And I think, and then Sophie says, I think in a way, you're putting the nickname above her feelings.
Yes.
Sophie says it.
Good
And
job,
he said,
Sophie.
and he says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, America. I won't do it again.
Oh my God.
Psych.
Say
Then
your
he says, Psych.
Yeah, he said psych.
And dad says, America doesn't matter. It's the person sitting next to you that matters. And he
Why
says,
is it so hard to just say I was wrong? I'm sorry. I'll try to do better.
he keeps going. He says,
You could
Devin,
win this reunion. That's all that this is your biggest conflict. You win this reunion if you just say I'm sorry and I'll do better and we're in love.
I think they filmed this for like 2 10-hour days. And this is the only time they're getting to speak.
Yeah.
And he can't say it. He says, Devin, I'm sorry for calling you Piggy for the last 4 years. Basically, like, I'm not going to stop.
Right.
And he says, I just wanted you to know I love you and you're cute. And they say, Well, we're not going to solve it today. And we wish you the best. And that's it. That's it for their whole segment. That is it. We
They
don't
came
know
up
what
with
she's
another
doing for
nickname. No, what she's doing for work. What no, just come
anything.
up with another nickname that you both can agree on.
Yeah. How about it like kitty cat? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it have to be an animal?
No. Could be a food, a
My Little
place.
Pony?
Yeah.
Um, Now we got to circle back to Nikki and Justin because Myrna has arrived.
Yes.
Nikki's mom, Myrna. Myrna really looks like a Myrna, doesn't she?
She does. Well, there's another Myrna, isn't that Jen's friend
Yes.
who
Jen's
is on
friend
Pillow Talk? They are on Pillow Talk, and I don't know why. They're
is
trying
is Randy on there sometimes too? Randy's my buddy.
Randy was on once, but now
Mhm.
it's been Myrna, because Jen moved in with Myrna in New York
Okay.
City. And
Well, Randy also lives in New York City.
okay, but they're living together,
Okay.
and she's helping Randy with her I'm sorry, Myrna with her business, or they're selling beauty products online. They were on Diaries also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll text Randy and get the scoop. She's my newfound bestie.
Yeah.
So now we're back to Nikki and Justin. Myrna arrives and Justin goes, Oh, hello, Myrna. You know the truth. Like he thinks Myrna's going to be on his side.
Oh my God.
And Myrna goes, Yeah, I do know the truth. Were you ever in love with my daughter?
Mhm.
Like, if you're in love, you don't give up on the relationship. And you said you're not gay or attracted to trans. Myrna's coming in hot.
Yeah,
Coming in
good.
hot.
Good, Mama Bear.
And Nikki says, Yeah, he said that. And he goes, Yes, because I am straight. But this is the exception. And Myrna says, My daughter is a woman, period.
Yeah.
And Nikki said, they asked Nikki about the K1 visa. And she says, It is in process. And Myrna says, Are you going to go to that K1 visa interview? Because that'll be next. And he says, I will see how you and your storytellings are right now. And they all go, What? Like, huh? And Sean says, Do you want Justin to come to the States and get married? And Nikki says, I thought we could just try the 90 days and see how it is in America, but I'm not sure. And I can't force him to love me and be into me.
How are you not sure? He's told you so many times.
I don't understand why. I mean, we've all been in a situation where like, okay, that person's just not that into me, but maybe I can like will it into
Right.
so.
Yeah.
But I mean, he doesn't want to have sex with you. He says he's not trans attracted, which is so offensive.
Yeah.
Constantly says you have male energy.
Mhm.
He's so offensive.
She just says she's invested so much time, which
I
is what
know.
people on the show always say,
Yeah.
and she can't find anyone better,
But
which I
now hopefully
disagree
she's
with.
realizing, hopefully now that she's on this show, people have reached out, be like, I'm better. I'd
Yeah,
love to date you.
exactly.
You
And you
know?
know what? Be your own Prince Charming. You're better off alone.
Yes. Um, so Sean says, let's see. I lost my place. I'm sorry. So Jasmine says, this whole relationship is his stupid jokes and him putting her down and him not considering her feminine enough. And women, they can be feminine and dominant as well. And we can have leadership and be vocal and not be considered as a man. And then he goes, okay, live together. Team, 90 Day Fiance, team, Jasmine and Nikki, team. And she says, the problem is you're a fucking asshole.
Yes.
And Ashley says, preach, preach. And he says, you are the copy of Nikki. Too much time with Nikki. Relax, girl, relax. You're wrong. Now, this is where Gino should have been like, hey, don't tell my girl to relax.
No, he's never going to stand up to anybody, even on a screen. He
He was like, oh no, he could come here from Moldova and get me.
come and flip my hat off, and then everyone's going to see my head again.
Jasmine says, all you want from her is the benefits. And he's like, no. And she goes, okay, everybody here is wrong and Justin is right. And he's like, right, that's right. And Justin says, she don't know nothing about a straight relationship and she don't know how to act like a lady in a straight relationship. And Ashley, she can't take it. She goes, stop saying that. Stop saying act like a lady. This is a woman. Stop disrespecting her like that. Every time you do that, you are causing damage to her.
I
Just
loved
stop.
Ashley. Oh, I loved Ashley in this moment.
$4,000.
I'll give her $4,000 for that speech.
So good. And Nikki, like, is again not a panic attack or anxiety attack. She's just sort of hyperventilating, upset, crying.
Could be a panic. I don't know why I'm taking it to be the arbiter of what is a panic attack and what's not. She's very upset. Regardless, it's hard to watch.
And she's upset, and she's had her hands, her head down in her hands, and her mom comes over, and Justin goes, I see that 10 times a day, and then change, and then next day change, and then next week change. I see it. And they're like, so what? And he says, I see. I don't have nobody on my side. I don't have my mother here. And Myrna goes, because your mother loves Nikki. I loved it. And then Sean says, Nikki, what's it going to take for you to pull the K-1 visa? Like, basically, don't let this guy even have 90 days in the United States.
Exactly.
And she goes, I don't know. Like, at this point, he doesn't want to come. He doesn't want to be with me. And she says, Justin, are you going to go to the interview? And he goes, no, I don't think so. And he says, like, I want to come to the United States, but not that way. And then Clayton's like, you should just pull it. You should just pull it. You heard him. You should pull it. Because they're all like, don't let the interview come. Because if the interview comes, then the ball is really rolling. But if you pull it, then he won't even get the interview.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants him to get the interview.
No one wants him here.
And so she starts yelling, you'll never find a woman like me. Remember that. Remember that. And I was like, okay, don't do that. Don't do that. And he says, oh, yeah, you too. And she goes, no, I could find a man better than you.
Good. Yes.
That's right. Stand in your power, girl, like Darcy and Stacy say. And then she hands her mom the ring, the engagement ring. And then, well, it was good to see you, Myrna. Goodbye. So she leaves. So in her talking head, Myrna says she feels heartbroken for Nicole. And he said he was in love with her and he cared about her and wanted to marry her, but it was all a lie. And Sean says, wow, this was a very difficult conversation. Nikki and Justin, we wish you the best. Goodbye. This is the end of the tell-all. And then did you notice at the end of the tell-all when she sang goodbye, that Clayton and Anali were all snuggled up like they were in love on the couch.
Trying to prove it to Brandi.
Yeah. They're like, look at us in the last 4 minutes. It's a wrap. So Jasmine says to Nikki, oh, maybe we're trying the wrong gender. Maybe we aren't meant to be with a man. And Nikki gives her kind of like flirty eyes. He's like, are you flirting with me? You're flirting with me. And then they hug. So I was like, okay, Gino, maybe you could try it. Maybe three-way action. I don't know.
Spin-off, Three's
Spin off.
Company.
Two women that Gino won't bang.
Uh-huh.
So Nikki says, this is hard for me. Like, I'm a romantic and I believe in love and I don't give up so easily. So easily. It's been so long.
Oh my
You're
god.
not giving up easily. You've going down with the fight, girl.
Yeah.
He said he didn't care if I pulled the visa. He said he didn't care. So then the producer says, Justin's still on the screen. Everybody's kind of talking around him, you know? And the producer says, Justin, what's going through your head? And he says, the women in America, they don't give the respect for the men. They don't care what we're thinking. And if Nikki is interested in healthy relationship, she can ask me, and then we will focus here on our relationship. What?
This is
What?
crazy. I don't understand because Andre is also very hard-headed and
Yeah.
a little misogynistic, but
Yeah.
he's not this bad.
No, not at all.
He
He
lets the
looks
women
great.
speak, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And he's
Mm-hmm.
pretty like I just he has a terrible temper, but he's not this misogynistic,
No, he's always like, your family's crazy, but I love you.
which
So I
is
guess I'll deal
valid.
with
They
it.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is valid. Yeah. Then we see Manuel say to Jasmine in Spanish, will you teach me English? Um, then Anali goes up to Nikki and says, congratulations for bye, Igor. And Nikki nods and says, thanks. So
I
they're
love it.
talking, and Nikki says, I feel confused and hurt and angry, but right now I'm going to write my attorney and say to pull the visa. And we see the text to her attorney, and she does say to pull it.
Does she? I thought it just said we need to talk.
We need to talk. Things have taken a turn. I definitely don't want to do the K-1 visa is what she
Okay,
says.
good,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah,
good.
I paused it. She says, it's hard because I did see him as my husband, but my future does not include him. I'm going to focus on myself and my hit songs, music. I'm
Mhm,
going to write a song about Justigor.
mhm.
She wishes him the best, but knows he'll never find a better woman than her. Okay. Then we see Sophie and Rob backstage, and he says, you know, it's great when we start to get along, everything is great, but then when we don't, we get bogged down in the details, and then we can't move past it. But I'm just want her to see that I'm willing to do whatever she needs me to do. And she says, "Well, it can't work if nothing changes." And he's like, "That's right, I'm trying, I'm trying." And I came away from this show being like, "I love Rob, I love him again, I love him anew, I love him afresh."
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but
Okay,
he did okay.
he did it right. Then we see Manuel and Ashley, and he says he is going to try to open up more and be a better communicator with his wife and for her family as well. And she goes, yeah, we're going to celebrate this day with a little sex magic. Yeah, right? Uh huh. And he says, she's my wife. I have to make her dreams come true.
Oh my god.
uh, Devin and Nick leave, and the producer asks them about the future. And he says, yeah, I'm going to get settled with my job and then bring her over to Atlanta, and then maybe we'll have a baby. And she says, "Yeah, I told him I'd consider it if he made a lot of money for me." And they laugh. Um, Talking Head Citra says, the experience, I guess being there at the tell all, the experience was crazy. And Sam says, yeah, I never thought these people on the show would know this stuff about me or I would know this stuff about them. Like it was a weird bonding experience from hell. And Citra says, the past is the past. We're looking for the future and we're going to have a baby. And he says, all I know is nothing is better than being with her. So
That's
fingers crossed,
good.
stays clean, stay
Yeah,
sober, work your
please.
program. Talking Head Clayton says, my sister called our relationship fraudulent. And it doesn't matter what she says because she's basically just blowing shit out of her ass. Wow. Wow. Anali says, I'm going to show people and Brandi that we really love each other. Check this out. And not only does she kiss him, she like violently tongues him.
Yeah, it was very awkward.
He's like, wow, okay. Huh. And he starts going,
Oh god.
he starts making guinea pig noises and shaking his butt. Oh. And talking to Jasmine, we see her, she's packing up and she's like, I just want to go home and see my dog. And he says, yeah, I just want to go to sleep. And Gino says, I think she way overreacted to the strip club stuff, but that was one of the worst fights we've had in a while. And Jasmine says, there are many aspects to marriage, and we both need help with our communication and our respect. And I'm going to keep fighting for our marriage. Catch me next time on Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
So, of these couples, I guess for Happily Ever After, we do have Jasmine, Gino, Manuel, and Ashley, Sophie, and Rob. And then we have, who else do we have? Oh, we've got Ed and Liz,
No, pass.
unfortunately.
Lauren and Alexi.
Love Angela and Michael. But I mean, we'll see. Are they going to pull their whole entire thing after what's been happening with them?
Yeah, I hope so.
They won't. It's TLC.
No.
They got it. Yeah, they've already got it in the can.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see next week, won't we?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we will.
Seems like a lot of couples, though. I just saw another commercial. There's people I can't think of, but it seemed like just a lot of people. Like, how are we going to follow all these people?
Emily and Kobe.
Right. I'm excited about them.
Love them. I mean, she's about to any second now give birth to their third baby.
Yeah. And they're your best friends. So,
and I love them so. They are the nicest, most genuine people.
I love them on Pillow Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved them on Diaries. Yeah.
They are so funny on Pillow Talk.
Yeah. She got a horrible edit her season.
Her season. Yeah. I mean, I asked him about it. And she was like, I know.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, my God. She was like, I mean, I hadn't seen the guy in 2 years. I got a brand new baby. I'm nannying during the day.
Oh, yeah. Hormones.
You know, and I'm living with my parents. And then we get pregnant right away. And then I couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Well, they're really great. So I'm excited about Happily Ever After. We'll be covering that right here in this spot on Tuesdays every week. And Katie said she might want to dip in and out of old 90 Day.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys, you know Katie. She's the partner to Kimberly on A Date with Dateline.
Yes.
Are you, because I did watch Dateline this weekend with Bunky John, and we were like, oh gosh, I hope Date with Dateline covers this. Are you going to cover the one that we just saw? I couldn't tell you. It turned out it was the boyfriend that did it.
Don't say that.
It was the boyfriend of the new girlfriend or whatever.
Don't.
The climbing through the window.
Yeah. Yes, we're doing it. But now you've just ruined it for everybody.
You guys, I didn't ruin it. There's lots of boyfriends in play. You don't know which is which.
There's a lot of twists. Yeah.
It's a lot of twists.
Fun. Yeah.
Okay, good. So that'll come out Wednesday, tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Everybody, I also want to tell you about the Bunky meetup that's going to be in Los Angeles, California, March 30th from 7 to 9 at the Mosaic Hotel in Beverly Hills. There will be a link in the show notes. You can click that and get your ticket. Kimberly is going to be our special guest star.
What? I thought it was just a guest.
You're going to be a guest star.
I thought it was an attendee.
No, you're going to be a guest star. We'll have a little stage for you, and you're going to sit up and do a podcast. You're going to tell everybody a story while we watch.
Now I really have to come and leave my apartment.
Yeah, you really do have to come and leave your apartment. And we'll see what other podcast friends I have in LA that might come over.
Ooh.
Who knows? Who knows may show up. I don't want to promise anybody because then people get excited and be like,
you just promised me, bitch.
I know. I promised you because I got you on the spot. You guys hear Kimberly. She, on the last episode, said fuck, and then she just called me bitch. And on this episode, she said dick. On their podcast, they do not curse. I have really corrupted her, and I feel good about it. I feel good about it.
It's so freeing. I love it. I wish I could cuss on the podcast.
We're gonna you need to renegotiate with Katie about your no cussing policy.
I know.
What would she do if you told her you wanted to cuss? You know, she's got that editing app thing. She would just take it out.
Just take it out. I can't. She holds me hostage. I can't say anything. Yeah.
Katie. Well, next week we'll be here to talk about the first episode of Happily Ever After. And you guys remember on the main feed, we're just going to be dropping episodes like Love is Blind stuff is going to be there. And they're going to be dropping some interviews and Netflix documentaries and things with other people on Mondays until Keisha and I get back Love After Lockup, which won't be till mid-April. So there'll be a lot of things being dropped in there. Over on Pink Shade Prime, on the $5 level, we're covering Seeking Sister Wife and 90 Day the Single Life. And on the $10 level, we're finishing up Prison Brides and we're finishing up Love is Blind. So we got to come up with something to go in that spot. It's got to be something good. Also, if you're in that $10 level, you can get these episodes that are on the free public feed. You get them ad free. That's another reason to join that level if you don't like to have ads.
Amazing. Join Get Bunky.
Join A Date with Dateline. They also have a Patreon and a Supercast where they were covering The Traitors.
Yep. And Amazing Race is starting soon.
Oh, Amazing Race. Okay.
I love Amazing Race.
Never watched it.
Oh,
Isn't that crazy? It's like the number one reality show, and I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay. All right, everybody. That's the end of this episode. Kimberly, everybody follow Kimberly and Katie at Date with Dateline, at Dateline on the Instagram. And please follow me. I'm getting close. I'm almost at 10,000.
Yes.
Still not there. Almost there.
Don't come at me with hot takes that I was wrong about. Come to Mary Payne, but follow her first.
Follow me first and then tell me what I was wrong about. I love it. Love to hear it. All right. Bye. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.